friends, it's Catherine at Moonstar Lodge. It's time for the new moon reading, and we're looking at the 8th moon cycle of She Who Heals today. Outside we have wild thunder beings speaking their mind about Turtle Mother, so you're going to hear the thunderstorms in the background, and possibly Larry and the puppy whining because they're separate in another room and there's thunderstorms, so that happens. Anyway, it's a very interesting new moon. Let me get my chart here. So on the medicine wheel, we are coming into here, the 8th moon cycle. Sorry, I'm off here. So we're past summer solstice, and in a perfect year, we're right here. So it's the, obviously the yellow, the south, it's summer, and the attributes include, we have coyote and wolf in the bottom of the wheel, and it's about growth, it's about the waxing of the moon, it's where it represents the cycle, it's about the afternoon, family, it represents the emotional time, and a lot of us are picking up our emotions in terms of this pandemic coming to a slow close. So She Who Heals is following on the end of Loves All Things, and I had asked you to think about where you're not expressing love for yourself. So She Who Heals comes in specifically on Friday, July 9th at 9:16 p.m. So the entry of her on that day is a great time, that time of day, because it's a great time to do ceremony. Let me describe She Who Heals. She is the intuitive healer, the midwife, the herbalist, the keeper of the healing arts, the singer of the death song, and keeper of life mysteries and death mysteries. She is the guardian of the medicine roots and healing herbs and the servant of humankind. She is the mother of intuition, all rites of passage, cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. And she teaches us how to serve others with a happy heart using our healing abilities, how to understand and honor the life cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, how to believe in the miracles of life through our connections to our spiritual essences. That's a peak concept. How to understand the plant kingdom and the healing uses of all parts of the plant. She teaches us how to serve the truth. So with my request of you to find the love for yourself, the ability to put yourself first at key times when you need it, for the self-care, that moves us into the time of She Who Heals. Because we're at the beginning, as you saw on the medicine wheel chart, we are at the beginning of summer. We're beginning to harvest the early fruits like strawberries and raspberries, which are women's healing herbs specifically. We're beginning to need to know how to use these plants that we're harvesting. But more to the point, we still need to look after ourselves. And this reading today, which we're about to flip to, speaks to that. So here we are in the medicine wheel, starting in the east. And I went to pull some clarifying cards, and the guide said, nope, not today, don't need it, it's pretty clear. So we have the Nine of Wands, this wee chimpanzee hanging about, kind of protected with the end. So nines are ending of cycles. So he's a little tired, he's a little focused, he's a little still wondering if there's anything left to do on his project. But this card is saying, no, it's time to have a little fun. It's time to let your hair down, so to speak, and rethink where you're at. Is it time to put this project to bed and let it be done? Well, actually, we're going to come to that card, which turned up over here. But in the meantime, moving from east to south, we have the beautiful movement of swords, this panther holding the sword in her tail. The movement of swords is like the night, and it's all about clearing up thoughts that have anchored us in a certain way of thinking for a very long time. We've been forced to think for the collective during this pandemic especially. We've been forced to change how we think about ourselves and the process. So this movement is saying, or this equivalent to the night is saying, enough of that. We're going to clear up old thoughts that are weighing us down. Thoughts that start showing up here in this first card. We need to clear them up. Why? Because we come to the 10 of Wands. So the card that follows this one. And this poor camel is very burdened down. This is about looking at things we need to delegate, looking at the end of this journey. This is done. We're weighted down. We're falling down under the burden of that which we have carried. So it's time to look at some self-care. But what we need to do is start to have some compassionate thoughts when we move up here to the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords has showed up in virtually every reading that I have done now in the past 6 weeks, using all kinds of different decks. The readings have been about all kinds of different issues. Some of them are daily readings, some of them are the quickie shorts on Instagram, and I am gobsmacked, as they say, that here she is again, reminding me that we are what we think, and whatever energy we put out into the universe, we get back. And this card speaks to me because I have gone through some critical thinking crises myself this week. So I get this. So now I'd like to look at some of the what the ancestors say about this reading. And you'll notice we've got the 4 points, the sacred cardinal points on the wheel, plus we have the so below, as above, so below, and the center of the wheel. So we've got the 7 positions of the wheel here. So the first card I'm reading is transformation. So this is inviting us to let go of our burdens and allow the transformation. Birds fly, they transform, they have cycles, they acknowledge the cycles. Bird responds to the sun. Bird's pineal glands respond to the sun. This is reminding us that we need to as well, which is interesting because the second card is looking to the west. So the west is autumn, and this is a hand squeezing a cloud. It's about forcing control, trying to squeeze the cloud to get rain is like us trying to control the weather pattern, if you will, the metaphorical weather pattern of what's going on in our lives. The center card here in this reading is asking us to trust that the flow is going in the way of life. It means we need to get back into our relationship with the Creator, the great mystery, the field of all possibilities, the one consciousness, whatever it is that you call that, God, Allah, we are an expression of that energy. And this shows me that most of us are in a place where we've forgotten our connection, that we have support. We don't have to try and force things. One of the ways that this is happening. What we are thinking about, what we choose to co-create, is affecting us in the autumn, but the outcome is in the north of the wheel in the winter. And these are the ancestors, the star people. So we have two sets of allies here. We have the creator, we have the ancestors. So speaking of the ancestors, I have the shaman card here, shaman cards here. And on the left, I was called to pull some astrological cards. I even threw this question out to Brian. What do you think I should pull? Astrological cards or something else? And he said astrological cards. So you know it must be so if he says that. Anyway, first card that came up was the moon. The moon is about our subconscious. The moon is about following the three phases here. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's our soul. Everything starts with our soul. We have to be in touch with our soul. And the way we do that is being in touch with the Creator, being in touch with the ancestors from whom we have come, and with whom we are evolving karmic debts, which we are learning about as we go through the iterations of our soul lives. We have to get caught up in a positive aspect to journey, because when the moon shows up, it is also talking about illusion. And this is dramatically represented here by these thoughts we are having. These are illusory, that we are burdened, that we don't have, we can let something go. We need to clear up our thoughts. This is a key action card here. And we need to express some kindness to ourselves, because we aren't going to move forward to create this journey unless we address these issues. So with this new moon cycle, this is asking us to connect with She Who Heals and to heal this. We can't heal anyone else. We can't do anything for the world. We cannot function properly until we fix ourselves, fix anything that's illusion, and follow the cycle of this moon cycle. So it starts on the 9th. And what's interesting is we have a perigee full moon on the 23rd. So this is now our waxing phase starting on the 9th. And it's the opportunity we have to fix this. So we've got 2 weeks to sit down and journal and sit our asses down and deal with the ends of this pandemic and the beginning of new creations, because what we are creating is going to manifest here. So we're coming into the time of Leo during this moon cycle. And Leo, the lion, I liken it to the strength card. But Leos are about, look at me, watch me go. And I think of our child Aunt Jenny, who's a Leo. And you don't have to be outgoing and an extrovert to be a Leo. You have to be focused, though, on what it is you want. So we're being given some Leo energy in this month as it moves into Leo. And one of the things that's important here is analysis. I analyze. We need the energy of Virgo. And Virgo, we come into yet later this year, the I analyze energy is about finding the balance, getting out of the weird thoughts, the burdening thoughts, and analyzing with a clear Leo mind, having the strength to get us out of this warped, dragged down sense of not acknowledging the completion cycle. So I look now to what the shaman have to say to us. And the shaman are speaking of the galactic mushroom, which is the divine matrix. The time at the end of September into October, the Libra time, is also very similar to when we have Grandmother Spider Woman. We are a part of the great web of life. So this galactic mushroom is about not just the web of life that connects us here in this dimension, but in all dimensions. I'm not going to get into quantum mechanics and quantum physics, but if you have this deck at home, I strongly recommend you grab this card and read it again, and write it on the blackboard 50 times, whatever you need to do to absorb that message. The next card is the Spirit of the River, the movement toward adventure. This is going with the flow, but speeded up. This is kind of similar to this card. It's finding a little fun, but moving toward a new adventure. These projects are over. 9s and 10s are completions. We're moving to the new. We need to connect. These ancestors are part of this galactic mushroom. The Spirit of the River is saying there is a new adventure. If we try to push the river, it's not going to work. If we try to make it happen any faster than it's supposed to go, it's not going to work. And if we turn backwards and try not to move forward with the river, which is what this card would say, then the adventure, we're just going to be blocked. The adventure is going to happen and we're not going to be part of it. I think the ultimate card that came out for me was Transmuting Pain. This is the Fool's Embrace. The Fool in Tarot is about the beginning of the new journey. Seeking a new journey. The Fool is not an idiot. It's not, the old village idiot idea. The Fool is somebody who's happily starting a new journey without caring what the adventure holds. It's about the beginning of something new, the completion of one cycle and the beginning of the new. The Fool's Embrace here is about transmuting pain, not holding any pain from the things we are finishing. We are moving on to this new adventure, whether we like it or not. These are the cycles of life. We all go through them. Microcycles, macrocycles, we all have them. It's moving forward. So you're the one who decides how this journey is going to go. So take this 2 weeks to heal what it is within yourself that isn't working, and take the time to build the dream for when we speak of what happens in the super full moon of July 23rd. And before I leave you with this card reading, I wanted to point out that when you come and take a tarot class with me, I actually give you the layouts of an expanded medicine wheel walk. And I'm looking at doing some of that this fall to bring you along on this journey that I'm focusing on. So I wish you well. The thunder beings have calmed down for the moment, so their emphasis is no longer needed, I guess, for this reading. So miigwech, Yawen, have a wonderful weekend as we move through from this Friday into the weekend, and take some time for yourself. Have some fun. Don't forget, have some fun. Aho.